Yeah, my SRP dealt with respectively American and Chinese exceptionalism, and it was written in the two subjects social studies and in history. First of all, I think it would be appropriate to more or less define how we understand the concept of exceptionalism. And exceptionalism is the perception that a country, in this case a country, uh, is exceptional or different, and therefore not does not need to conform to normal rules or general principles of behavior. And with that in mind, my paper examined how both the American and the Chinese exceptionalism have developed through history, through time, and how they affect the foreign policy of their respective countries, China and the US. And through analysis of official speeches from both the Chinese and the American government, the speeches was on the conflict in the South China Sea, and in my study I showed that both countries actually have an exceptionalistic view on their foreign policy, but are somewhat different in their result and their means. And that was something I also looked on. The paper investigated the nation's strategic targets and their strategic means in the South China Sea region. These strategic targets are, or I found out that they are somewhat rather difficult to determine, and this actually turned out to be a problem in my writings because American exceptionalism it's quite well known. It's used in books, scholar books, and it's actually also used in official politics in the US, in the news. And the same does not at all apply for Chinese exceptionalism, which meant that I had to make up my own models, which to some extent were able to illustrate what Chinese exceptionalism is. And that is the thing you can see in the screencast-o-matic. That's a model to illustrate how it works and how Chinese exceptionalism is affected by two sides of history, a positive side and a negative side. And the result of this is a regional exceptionalism that can go in both directions. And that was my discussion, which was about if or when and how Chinese exceptionalism could pose as a threat to the current US hegemonic world order. And I concluded that if Chinese exceptionalism actually should pose as a threat, it would have to depend on which of the two sides of the history the exceptionalism would rely on. And just briefly in the ending, I haven't got very many stats or models to show, and this one was actually in this short video the only thing that was relevant to show, I think.